When I was recording my third album in Germany, the producer that I was working with kept up pulling these reference tracks. And I remember thinking, like, why are we doing this? But after he showed me how to actually use them, everything was like, I understand now. It clicks. So in this video, I'm going to teach you how I actually use reference tracks, what I listen for, and how to use them without copying. Because if you use them the right way, they can improve your mixes immediately. So let's take it back to Germany. After I said, like, hey, why are we doing this? I remember he said something like, I'm just trying to understand like how loud things are and how they're using space and dimension. And before that, I thought that he just knew like all the answers, but then it clicked, like even pro producers just compare and use reference tracks. They don't guess. They're just listening and comparing. So let me clarify something here because I think this is where most people misunderstand reference tracks.
You don't want to listen to your reference and assume that they did everything right, so you should do the same. That's not how to use reference tracks. It's a small comparison just to gut check some type of similarities, but you're going to have to bring your own taste into that as well. It will always be helpful if you have the reference in Logic so you can split the stem and dissect it a little bit. But if you don't, you can listen to examples on Spotify. I just wanted to reference one song on Spotify, the Beat It song by Michael Jackson. Very popular song. If you were to reference this song and think that they did everything right in that mix, they did do everything right in that mix, in my opinion. It's such a great song. But subjectively, this is a song that's often talked about in the industry that the shaker might be too loud, or maybe the kick drum was too loud. But the priority for that mix, it works because they wanted people to move. That's what Quincy Jones said. So, who was the producer in that song? So you want to try to choose a reference that has a similar world to your song, but not assuming that they also did everything right because they had different priorities for their song, and you will too. So it's really just a gut check.
And there are two specific ways I use them. The first is at the beginning for production. If I'm inspired by a song, I'll use it as a guide for like the groove, the instrumentation, the overall feel. So when I'm referencing during production, I'm not even thinking about mixing yet.
So I'll have the WAV file and I'll split the stem into everything here. And what I'm looking for is drum pattern. Okay, what's making that groove? Why is it so dynamic? How are they making it? How are they arranging the drums from like verses to choruses? And what's the big differentiator there? And also, what are the big differentiators in spatial dynamics between sections? So now that I have the stem, I can go right to my drum stem and I can play the verse or intro section and just hear, okay, what's going on here? Okay, interesting. Okay, well, how is it different in the chorus? And I can zoom in, look at things. I can also look at spatial dynamics, bass. So in spatial dynamics, I might go down to maybe synthesizers or keys and look at what the depth is there. Maybe guitars. Other is a good thing to look at. Other could be synths, organs, this type of thing. So this is like a verse section. Okay, so I can notice that the dynamics are lower. And if I go in the chorus, how is that? Is it widening? Is it richer? Is there more low end? You get all sorts of ideas doing this, but seeing the elements and also not being distracted by the vocal right now, just looking and comparing, getting ideas, getting inspired. We're not going to go and take the melody, take anything that's copyrightable. We're just using this to get inspired. By the way, this is my own song to use in this video, so I actually can copy it all I want if I want to.
So this gives me a total direction before I start mixing. Then later, when I bring the reference tracks back in during the mixing phase of things, this is where they really start to become powerful. Because now I'm not asking like, how does my mix sound good? I'm asking, how does my mix compare to the one that's on Spotify? And this is where things get really practical. And I'll show you exactly what I'm listening for here.
I'm no longer looking at the stems at this point, and when I'm using a reference track to look at the mix, I just want to reference just the master because I want to hear everything in context. So what I'll do is I'll have this is my reference here and the production I'm working on. So I'll make sure that if I have any stereo bus compression on my stereo out, when I reference this track against my reference, if I want to listen to my reference, just make sure that your stereo bus plugins are off, or else your reference includes those stereo bus plugins, and then you're not getting the reference you want. You want a clean reference from the mastered file. Now, if this is a mastered file, which it is here, it's going to be louder than your reference. So what you want to avoid is if I play this right away, it's going to sound louder, which won't give you the right comparison. So you want to kind of gain match these two. So what you could do is just look at, okay, where is your meter on when you're listening just to your track on the stereo out? Where you're at, it's about negative 1.4. So we want to kind of do that with our reference here. Quick games. Hey. Besides vocal, it's helpful to look at the low end groove, bass, and drums and how that's really working in the song. You can highlight on the stereo out. You can even highlight the low end frequencies if you want to narrow in and just put a high cut on your stereo out to listen to those low end frequencies, and then do the same thing on your mix to listen to those low end frequencies. It's going to not give you like the in context of how everything's working, but you can narrow in. Sometimes it's helpful just to see also where the levels are peaking in your reference and where the levels are peaking in your song too.
So I'm not trying to copy or exactly match the mix here. I'm just kind of calibrating my ears as a comparison. And sometimes I'm honestly just looking for permission to. I'm like, oh, that's how loud their lead vocal was or their kick drum, and I can get the permission to feel good about doing that in my own mix. But let me explain now where people go really wrong with this.
People go wrong with references because they get discouraged because their mix doesn't sound like the reference. So keeping in mind that the reference is mastered and the reference is polished, you might not be at that stage yet. So you're going to get discouraged if it doesn't sound like that. Also, your song is just different. It's just going to sound different. Like if it sounds exactly like the reference, then you just recreated the reference, and then why did you do that? You know, you're there as an artist, you're there to say something, you're there to create something new. So you have to keep that in mind, that you're not going to sound like the reference. It's a guide, and it's for a gut check. I could find any song in the world that will match the thing you're looking for. For example, if you are trying to reference, in your reference, the guitars are so clean and your guitars are really noisy, so you spend hours trying to clean up your guitar so there's no amp noise or hiss. When I could equally find another reference, the guitars on a lot of Beatles records, the guitars on the new Haim records are super loud and amp noisy and hissy. So if we were referencing with those tracks, you wouldn't have spent your time denoising those guitars. You cannot just take the reference and say, okay, their synths and vocals are clean, so mine have to be. No, it's more about overall tonal balance and guide.
So the reason most mixes don't sound professional isn't because you're not talented or you don't know how to listen to reference tracks. It's actually because you just haven't trained your ears yet. Reference tracks will speed this process up of training your ears. They show you what to listen for. So instead of guessing, you're actually making these informed decisions from a professional mix. But here's the thing, reference tracks are only going to really help if your production and mix are strong from the get-go. So watch this video here and I'll show you how to take your rough idea and turn it into a finished song with a strong production and a good mix. This is a great video for those who are really serious about leveling up. So I'll see you there.